Yeah. I'm glad you did. Welcome to another episode of Turning Coal into Diamonds. What you guys do not know is that I thought I was recording and we had not. So you guys, hopefully it's as good as the first time because I feel like we were going.
We were going.
It was happening. But today we have Michael Izbotsky. He's a good friend of mine. We actually are mutual friends through Andrew Felix, who you guys had on one of my episodes. Definitely listen to that one. He's the one. It's about skydiving and poop stories. So there's some other good stuff in between, but in the bio, that's the one to really look for. But introduce yourself again, Michael.
What's up, everybody? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Michael Izbotsky. I was born and raised here in LA. Valley kid, can't get past that. I'm a certified financial planner. So I started my own firm about 2 years ago, towards the end of 2018. So I have that going on. I've been growing slowly and steadily, which is nice. Just grinding through that. And to your point too, I know you through Andy. I call him Andy.
We just had a whole discussion about his rebranding.
His rebranding drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because I've known him since kindergarten. That punk little kid. I mean, he's not as bad now. I love him, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, it was definitely awkward for me when he rebranded because it's so awkward for me calling him Andrew.
And you've known him way longer than I have. You said since kindergarten. So
since kindergarten. We go.
That's 20 some years. You can't just change that overnight.
23, almost 20. 24 years, I think, almost.
Dang.
Depending. Yeah. So I mean, but we became best friends more so in high school.
Got it. Perfect. Andrew. That's so funny. So I'm glad to have you. And did you say financial plan already?
Financial planning. Yeah. Financial planning, investment management, all the number fun stuff.
I'm excited to have you specifically. One, because obviously you're super chill and we've gotten to know each other over the years, but I think this is a really great time to have this conversation. I know a lot of people know me as a comedian and this is a comedy podcast. At the same time, we keep it real here. We talk about real shit. And right now, I think, at least it's been on my mind because I think a lot of people are in different financial situations. So I think no matter if you have a little bit more to maybe invest or spend than normal or a little bit less, that we're all thinking about what we can do to just better ourselves moving forward after this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy times. I know everyone here, specifically in LA, I mean, we're not even able to go to the beach, so people are just going nuts.
Crazy. It's insane.
It is crazy. But the good thing about being in LA is there are a bunch of tech companies here too, similar to San Francisco. So a lot of people are able to work from home.
Oh, wow.
Which is nice. But who are hit hard the most are retail workers, or servers, people working at bars. So it's really hard. It's like I don't know if it's a silver lining, but the best thing you got going on is the unemployment benefits right now are super rich. They're fat, meaning you can get up to $600 extra a week right now due to this COVID pandemic. And what's super awesome is you're an entrepreneur, right? You're hustling, you're grinding. Most of my clients are entrepreneurs, business owners. So traditionally, unemployment is for salaried workers or hourly workers. Now they've extended it to sole proprietors. So think about even if you're driving for Uber or Lyft, right? You're eligible for unemployment benefits, which is amazing, right?
Yes.
So even if you're still driving, right, but maybe you're driving less, you're making a little bit less money, so you can still get compensated for those the less amount of hours you're working and less amount of income you have, which is super awesome. They haven't done that before.
That is really awesome. What I also think is really funny and awesome right now is I thought, just for comedic purposes too, that because I had a financial planner and it was all businessy, I would put a button down and a tie on and stuff and just look like, oh, I'm going to try and be cute. I am wearing sweatpants underneath. On the bottom.
Can't tell.
But you got a little polo and backwards hat and stuff. You're super cash, chilling.
Yeah.
I love it.
I joked with you before. I got to have a little bit of a collar, but keep the backwards hat so people know I'm still pretty cool.
I
So
love it.
no,
I love it.
Gerard, let me tell you, I've been working in personal finance since probably end of 2014. I
Mm-hmm.
wore suits for 3, maybe 4 years. I
Oh,
loved it. I felt like a
shenanigans.
boss.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, of course.
But being in LA, not many people wear suits. So a lot
Yeah,
of the time I
yeah,
was trying to attract these clients that I loved the clients I had,
yeah,
but it wasn't necessarily the demographic I was going
yeah,
after. And
for sure.
it wasn't as casual, right? We didn't like
Mm-hmm.
connect as much. It was more kind of like, okay, you're going to see a lawyer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But now I'm able, no, seriously. And like
Yeah, I
people
get
like
that.
are more standoffish.
I
So
get
now,
that.
yeah, now that I
Now you got
cuss
the
with my
backwards hat
clients
though.
sometimes. I got the backwards hat. I mean, we still do business, but it's a lot
Yes.
more lighthearted. It's a lot more fun, you know?
I love it. That's how I
Yeah.
do business. You know me. I'm very
Yeah.
cash about most things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like, it's like you gotta, there's like a fine line. You end up working it out, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I got the beard for the casual and then everything else.
Let me, I got the beard to make me look my age, but it still
Oh
doesn't even help.
yeah.
I can't even grow up much more
I've
than
been
this.
trying during quarantine so hard. I'm trying to stay close to the mic, but I don't get it doesn't come in here.
I feel it.
So this is why I'm trying it. This is why I don't grow a beard ever because it doesn't look cute for me. But I do want to ask you this since I have you. What would you say from the basics? Because I went to school for accounting actually. I know that's not
No way.
anyway. I know you would never guess that shit,
Never.
right? Yeah,
Never.
I used to tutor it too. Like
What?
I was that good. I was good. I'm good. It's
Yeah.
just I what happened is we were going over. I remember this day so hard, it's pivotal in my brain. Basically, we were going over our syllabus. So it was the second year of accounting for me. We're going over the syllabus for what we're gonna do for the semester of the
Okay.
new term, and we literally on the second page. And I was like, I can't do this shit. I can't. And I
Over it.
walked out of the class as my teacher was still going over the syllabus, went straight to the registrar's office, and I changed my major.
So you change it from what to what exactly though?
I went from accounting to technically paralegal studies, but it was a filler because I was
Okay.
thinking about being a lawyer at some point too. So I was like, let me
Oh,
see what's up.
you lay down the law.
But I never took any electives, and so I went really from accounting to public communications.
Okay, makes sense.
As here I am.
Seriously.
Exactly. But where do you think the basics are right now? Where do you think people should start looking? Because I know I've been looking at some investment opportunities as far as stocks and things like that. Because
Yeah.
a lot of different things are pretty opportune right now. I know airlines and cruise ships, things like that are things that I've been looking at that are just
Yeah.
obviously are really down right now.
For sure. So us millennials, we love the term buy the dip. Like it's become a meme, just buy the dip, buy the
Yeah.
dip. So I think in turn, that's kind of what really helped the stock market bounce back as quickly as it has so far. We're still about halfway back to the top. Who knows if it's going to go down further or if it's going to go higher? Short term, I have no clue. I have no
Yeah.
crystal ball. All I can tell you is long term, it
Mhm.
will go up.
Got it.
But to your point, it's picking and choosing stocks. I mean, there's a whole concept of a monkey throwing a dart at just a whole list of stocks, and you pick those 5 it lands on, you have a better chance of outperforming, the stock market, or not the stock market, but the investor who's trying to buy and sell is a
Got
premise.
it.
So what I've been telling my clients now is, because we're in such a crazy, weird, like effed up situation,
Yeah.
it's things are a little bit different. So when do you start investing and how much do you start investing?
Yeah.
So I tell people, first and foremost, before you even start investing, you got to take care of yourself and pay yourself first. So that's a cash emergency fund, cash reserve. So, and let me know if I'm going into too much detail because I nerd
No,
out
this
about
is what
this.
I want to know. Or at
Okay.
least this is what I Well, first of all, this is what I want to know, but I'm hoping this is
Okay.
what other people want to know too. And if it's not, well, you're at least filling me in, and I love
it. Okay.
I'll take it.
For sure. So basically, you want to aim at all times you want to have 6 months worth of hard expenses, like die-hard expenses saved up in cash, right? So that's rent, car insurance, car premiums, all that stuff. So basically, if you had that set up, you wouldn't be sweating as much as some people might be now during this pandemic. For a lot of us, it's hard.
Sorry to interrupt. How do you come up with the 6 month figure? Because I thought it was 3 figures. When you said 6 months, I was like, ooh, child,
so,
I'm behind.
Well, here's the thing. Listen, Gerard, we're in LA, so it's a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
6 months. Bare minimum you want is 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm actually working with a couple clients now. So, I mean, they make some pretty good money being in LA, but expenses are super high. Completely. But what we're doing is we're working towards that 3 month mark. Mm-hmm. So let's say, like, I'm just saying like 4,000 a month. No, let's say 5,000 a month. It's easy numbers. Okay.
Got it.
It could be in line. Okay. Let's say 5 months. So so basically we're working towards $15,000, right? That's 3 months of expenses. Once we hit that 15,000 cash, we're still going to be funding his savings account. So we're still going to be putting money into the savings account, but at a slower rate. So that way he can still take advantage, or my clients can still take advantage of investing in the stock market. So until he reaches, or my client, I'm saying he, because I actually just had a conversation with a good client of mine yesterday. Got it. But basically, once he hits the 6 months, then, okay, cool. We don't touch it. We leave the money in the savings account, and then the rest is fair game. You invest it. And then how you invest really depends what you're investing it for. Is it long-term for your retirement? Us millennials, we don't even care about that. We're not thinking about it.
We're like,
right? Yeah, right? We're not thinking about it.
Our planet's even going to be here for retirement.
For real, So that's one aspect of it. Or a lot of people now, we're trying to save up for a home, right? So, okay, so what is the proper investment mix for that? So I say 6 months more so than 3 months, because that gives you a lot more cushion, right? Sure. So if you are investing and the stock market dips a little bit, you're not gonna be as worried, because you have cash. You're not gonna have to pull out of the investment. For business owners, entrepreneurs, people in sales, I recommend bumping that up to 10 months worth, which is a little aggressive.
Dang. Wow. Okay.
Because
so you're telling me I'm fucking up.
Here's the thing. Well, here's the thing.
I'm effing up.
It's all relative too. You know, I mean, I have one of my a good client of mine. He says, listen, I hear what you're telling me. I'm okay with 6 months. Like he's like, if shit hits the fan, I'm not going to be homeless. I have a great support network. I'm like, okay, if you're okay with that, fine. Rather than hitting the 10 months. So he also does have other investments too that are a little bit more conservative. So if he has enough cash to last him 6 months, and then another few months, he can always dip into his investment portfolio. That's not super aggressive. It's all relative, but I would say your very first goal is to get to 3 months, and then from there to 6 months. So right now, honestly, if you got that stimulus check, the big $1,200 check, it doesn't go too far in LA. but I mean, that doesn't even cover 1 month of rent
for most people. And my rent went up during this quarantine. 2 weeks after we went in quarantine, our landlord boosted our rent.
Yeah, it's like a big middle finger, It was,
we were, luckily we have a 3-bedroom, so there's 2 other people I split rent with. So nice. It wasn't cringeworthy. At the same time, I was like, come on, like people are barely paying rent right now. You're gonna boost rent?
Seriously.
You're lucky we're paying.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying, screw the man, I'm not gonna pay until on that point. I will say, if you're working right now and you can afford it, keep paying rent. Yeah. Because you're going to have to pay it at some point. Yeah. Just keep paying.
I know. I have some friends that I'm really grateful that I can think for myself, but I have a lot of friends that are just like, well, don't pay your rent. And I'm like,
no.
I don't want to deal with that. I just don't. I don't. And honestly, right now, there's not enough sidewalk space under the underpasses. So,
oh my gosh, we have a couch for you if you need it, but
oh my goodness, thank you.
I don't know how long you can stay. I'll have to check with Juliet, but
oh my goodness, I'll put on a
we'll
show
love to have
nightly
you.
for you guys.
Oh yeah, pay your rent in show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, okay, so I guess just to be clear, investing's great.
Yeah.
So if you have the money, do it. But I would rather you invest in cash first.
Yeah.
Once you have that, so let's say things are going, you're still making money now, and you have time to invest. Just invest mechanically, right? Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm going to wait for the stock market to go down further," or they're going to say, "Oh, what if I invest now and the stock market drops back again or drops even further?"
Mm-hmm.
No one knows. So there's two ways to look at it. Even if you invest, a huge chunk of change, just say like $10,000, you have an extra 10,000 in cash.
Yeah.
And I'm saying 10,000 just because it's round numbers. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's say you invest $10,000 and the stock market drops another 10, 15, 20%. Well, you're still buying in now at a 15% discount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're still getting a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
And not once, a lot of people don't realize this, Gerard. Listen, the stock market is over, the US stock market is over 200 years old. It's over 200 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So not once in history has a stock market not gone back to its previous high and surpassed it. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
So if you have 10, 15, 20 years, you're just investing for whatever, like you don't necessarily need the money, then you don't really care as much. Another approach you can take is say, hey, I have that $10,000. Let me space it out every 2 weeks or every month. Let me just chisel away. Let me just put in 2,000 here or even 1,000 here, 1,000 every 2 weeks or 2,000 every month for 5 months. So if the stock market does start to go down, you're kind of you give yourself a better chance to at least buy some at the dip or at the low.
Got it.
So one way I'm working with my clients mostly is just say, stay mechanical. You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to time the stock market. Just keep it as a machine. Okay, the 15th of every month, regardless, boom, let me transfer.
Boom, there
money.
It is. Got it.
You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to time the stock market.
For sure. And so let me ask you this. What happens if you don't have 10,000 and maybe you have 1,000 or 2,000? Is that, because I do know there's some listeners here that, that's very real for them as well.
For sure, yeah.
What do you suggest there? Is it still kind of building? Let's say we built our 3 months.
Yep.
Speak for myself. I've built my 3 months. I have an extra $2,000 and I want to put that somewhere. I don't know where to start. What do I do with that?
So with that amount of
money, or do
I
not do anything?
Listen, if you have the extra money and you want to make it work for you. So first of all, the cash that you have, because we're talking about money and earning interest and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Look to a high yield savings account. There's a few good ones online. Make sure it's FDIC insured. That's
of course
key
FDIC, right now, especially.
Key. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Bitch, if that's not FDIC insured, get the hell out of it. Yeah.
Get out now.
Yeah. If it's too good to be true, it most likely is. But yeah, no, look to keep your cash in a high yield savings account. You can get probably like a 1.5% per year, give or take a few, fractions of a percent. And then for the investment part, so like you said, if you have that set up, what do you do with the 1,000, 2,000? Invest it for sure, right? Like I would say, first and foremost, you want to pay your future self. So it might be annoying so you don't get the instant gratification, but I would recommend opening up a retirement account, whether that's a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, or put money into your 401k. Do that. Or let's say you have 2,000, you say, okay, cool, let me pay future Gerard, but let me get some benefit now within the next year, 2, 3, or 4 years, or 5 years, whatever it is. You can do a combination. With that, I highly recommend starting with mutual funds or ETFs or a combination of the two. What those are baskets or buckets of stocks or bonds or a combination of stocks and bonds. So it's just basically so let's say instead of buying, let's say $1,000, like $1,000 won't even buy you one share of Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so with $1,000, you invest in a mutual fund or ETF. I mean, you're owning at least, a lot of these ETFs or mutual funds will have at least 500 different companies in there,
Oh,
right? So
wow.
$1,000, you can essentially own 500 companies versus maybe one or two or three. So you're more diversified. So if those two companies or three companies go down, you still have another 497 that will carry your portfolio forward.
Got it.
Right. Obviously, it might not be that extreme as, 497 are in the green, but you get my point.
Totally. So I want to ask something, kind of go back a little bit. What got you into finances and this style of, because I know you were working with a firm and then you started your own firm. How did that all come together? Because obviously you know a lot about taking financial risks and the rewards. And I would also say this is probably for some people not the most uplifting conversation sometimes when it comes to money. I think a lot of people are maybe scared of that conversation. What made you just like, this is what you want to do?
Honestly, we've talked about him already. We're gonna
Little
make him
Andrew,
famous.
he's coming back.
Andy Felix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, first of all, he's the first entrepreneur that I really knew. And I was
Mm-hmm.
shocked when he said he was going into business for himself, because he just hated school, right?
Yeah.
But and a lot of people do, but I thought he was kind of crazy to go into business for himself, because I was some naive college student. I'm like, oh, I'm going to graduate from San Diego State. I'm going to get a nice salary job, make 6 figures, this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
I got my first big boy job, Gerard, and I was like miserable in that position.
Mm-hmm.
I had no control of my time. I had to, clock in, quote unquote, clock in. I mean, I was salaried. So be in my desk by 9 a.m., leave by 5. I hated it.
Yeah.
But what got me that first position was Andy. So basically he said, hey, look, a good client of mine, because he's into personal fitness. So one of his clients is a financial advisor at at the time it was a big firm. So I got put into that. They said, okay, listen, you're pretty green. I had no experience. I studied statistics in college. I took maybe 5 different finance classes and some econ, but I didn't think I wanted to be a financial advisor. So Andy said, look, you're good with people, you're good with numbers, check out financial advising. My client's going to give an intro. So I went to this big insurance company. They did a lot of investments too. It wasn't solely insurance. And they said, listen, we appreciate your drive. We don't have any role for an inexperienced financial advisor, but we have some admin support position. I said, okay, great. Let me just get my foot in the door, man. I'm hurting for cash. I don't have a job.
That fresh out of college life.
Oh yeah, dude. I was driving a '97 Altima, beat up stick shift. I mean, the paint was pretty much just like rusted off. It was trash. And here I am in my suit. I felt like a used car salesman. But you know what? I said, screw it. I gotta make money. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So within a few months there, I think it was maybe after 4 months of me pushing paper, I went to a couple of managers. I said, hey, what can I do? I want to do more. I'm more hungry. Let's do something. So we created some type of, like, it was
Daddy's thirsty.
Oh, so thirsty. So basically, I'll keep it short. I can go on forever, but basically they created some financial advising role for me. They said, okay, cool. Wow. Like you'll be a junior financial advisor for a team of these advisors and you'll learn the ropes, etc. And I said, okay, cool, great. I learned a lot. I worked under a few great financial advisors. They did primarily investment management. They dealt with insurances too, but their main focus was investments and financial planning. So I learned a lot. Then we got acquired. I'm telling the story about how I started my own firm.
Gotcha.
I'm not going on a tangent. I'm telling you.
I'm following. Don't worry. Okay. My people are used to my tangents, so they can get a little bit somebody else's right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
I just get excited about this. Okay.
I can see it. I can see it.
Basically, so some other big insurance company acquired us, and I'm just leaving names out of it because I don't want people.
I hear you. I know. We try to do that here sometimes.
Yeah. So this big insurance company acquired us, and they gave us, so basically they said, okay, Izbotsky, right? I talk about myself, my last name, right? They're like, Izbotsky, we love the work that you're doing. You know, but regardless of how much money you make or you earn us through investments and financial planning, you still have to sell X number of insurance contracts.
Oh, wow.
And I said, are you kidding me?
Wow.
I was like, what? And they said, but it wasn't just me, but it was all of us advisors that were acquired in the acquisition. I think there were like 4,000 of us, and they just a lot, like, I don't even know. I think maybe within the first year, at least 1,000 might've left. I don't remember the exact numbers.
Yeah.
But they gave us a 1.5 year leeway. They said, okay, for the next 1.5 years, you don't have to worry about hitting these numbers. You'll be incentivized to sell these insurance policies, but it won't count negatively against you. I said, okay, fine, whatever. 1.5 years to do my thing, see what happens.
See what's up.
A couple months before the 1.5 years come due, I look back, I'm like, holy shit. I think I sold maybe like 3 or 4 insurance policies that whole time.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Maybe a little bit more, but I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
So
after a year.
I was like, no, that's not my jam. Like, I know a lot about insurance because I was working there, but that wasn't my primary like focus. Right?
Got it.
And
I'm going to interject real quick because I think a lot of people here have heard multiple different stories. And I want to say there's a large similarity on one, speaking up for yourself or knowing what it is that you want. And I think that you, from the get-go, from what I'm hearing, like, you knew that you were hungry. You wanted your foot in the door and you're like, I want more. And you weren't afraid to go for that, which I love.
I appreciate
and
that.
There's a part of you that knew, you found out what it is that you didn't like. And it seems like you weren't afraid to kind of go for what you did want. And I feel like that's so important. And I get that because I was in that place. That was me with accounting in a way. You know, I was doing it for the money. I was doing it because I was good at it. And when I really took a look at like, man, this is not what I'm not going to enjoy it. I found something that I did and went for that. But I'll let you finish. But I really want people to see how important it really is or I guess just the value in going for what you want, and no matter how scary that is sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I'll get to the point where I actually started my own firm, but I was super scared, but super excited at the same time.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned too is I just wanted more and more and more. Like, okay, I was, okay, cool. I got a little bit of what I wanted. And I got to the next point where I'm like, okay, no, I want more. I'm not happy anymore. Like, give me more. So basically, I'm back to what we were saying is this was towards the end of, I think, 2017. I had just passed the CFP exam, the Certified Financial Planner exam. It was a 6-hour exam. I was like, okay. And I was feeling myself. I was like, hell yeah. I'm like, I don't even, how old was I? Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm 26. I got the CFP. Yeah. Let me get that Lambo. Let's go. You know? Oh, God. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't like that, but I was like, yeah, that's so LA. No, I'm not about that. I'm just like, joking. No, I'm not about that. But, so I was feeling myself. I'm like, okay, cool. Now what? What's next? So then I ended up getting recruited over to a new firm as a smaller credit union. And they said, listen, we want you to, we like that you're a young CFP. We want you to help us grow our wealth management division. You know, you have background in financial planning, all that good stuff. I said, okay, great. Because I vibed really well with the guy who recruited me. I get there. This was, I think, end of January 2018.
Yeah.
And it was not what I expected. Let's see what I thought.
I think I knew what you were going to say, but we'll stick with that.
Yeah, listen, I had a great time. Here's the thing. I learned a lot about what I don't want.
Yeah.
Right. And it just lit the fire in my ass. It basically, I got so fed up. I think I lasted there maybe 6 months even. I said, screw it. I can't. Yeah. Like, I just got frustrated. It was like stepping back. It was even more salesy, I think, than what I was even leaving. And that wasn't kind of what it just, I guess things got lost in translation.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. Whatever. Yeah. I'm not upset about it. I'm actually kind of happy about it because this is where I am now.
Exactly. So that's the colon to diamond moment right there.
There you go. Yeah. I was basically so pissed where I just basically not middle fingers directly to the people who were there, because I love them, right? Like I had a great time working with those, but I just said, middle finger to the man, right?
Yeah.
I said, listen, I want to work with the clients I want to work with. I want to create a business model. Like I want to run my business the way I want it to be run. I want to be able to market myself the way I want to market. I don't want to have to get approval to jump on a podcast, right? They had my business. It was to the point where I couldn't even choose how I wanted my business card to be laid out, or like the exact verbiage. So I was like, you know what? And that's basically what it was. I said, you know what? I've been doing it for, enough time now, like 4 years at that point. I said, I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I was just mad enough and gung-ho enough that I just stuck with it. I just did it. I said,
I love it.
I'll show you guys.
I'll even say, and for some people listening, that it was even more just you were that driven, you were that inspired, you were that ready to believe in yourself and invest in yourself, I think. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a power to realize that I'm worth it, you're worth it, whoever you are, that you're worth doing it the way you want to. And not from, like, I think what you were even saying with the middle finger to the man, it's like, it's not a middle finger to whoever you're working for, or whoever, what's around you. It's a middle finger to, like, I'm not gonna sacrifice my own dreams, my own, like, aspirations to fulfill something else for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about you, Gerard, so it's similar concept, right? Because I remember, I think I came to one of your first few like stand-ups, right? I was like, oh, hell yeah. I couldn't even tell that it was like, I don't know if it was your first, but you were pretty green. I was like, I couldn't really even tell. Like I could tell, but not really.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got a lot of hate saying, oh, you're not going to make it, or, oh, you're not ready yet, or, oh, you should still do more acting classes or improv classes, whatever it is.
Yeah. What are you trying to say, Michael?
Gerard, okay, what I'm trying to say is you got to teach those classes.
Right? Okay, you guys heard it.
No, but to what I was saying is, you're going to get a lot of people saying, don't do it, or not yet. Right.
Yeah,
so they were saying, you know what, Michael, why don't you, like, you've only been doing it 4 years. Why don't you just wait another couple years, get some more clients, or learn more about this? And I'm like, listen, another 2 years will turn to 5 to 10 to 20. And then I'm going to say, oh, well, I can't do it now because I have kids. There's always going to be an excuse. I said, I'm just going to do it now. Worst case scenario, if all else fails, I'll just go back and get a salary job or some other job that I said, I might as well do it now. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll just get a job. And that's not to say, right, like, the hustle. I was working a part-time job when I first started my
We've always done this. Yeah,
seriously. I was like, listen, I had no shame. At first I was like, oh, I'm never going to get a part-time job. I don't need that. And then I was proud to get one. I was like, I don't care. So I ended up working nights. I mean, it was like, I was working second shift, but I would get off. I would work 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. 4 days a week. And it was tough, but I said, you know what? I need, like, the cash I had saved up lasted me maybe the first only 2 months. I said, you know what? I don't want to drive.
Especially in LA. That 3 months quickly goes fast. I walk outside and I spend $300 just breathing. I'm like, I promise you, as soon as I leave my house, I'm broke. Like I think that's why I'm like, ooh, I got money during quarantine.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard because you're like, the struggle is, okay, cool, I'm not spending, $40 a week on gas because I'm not driving anymore. So let me go spend the $40 on booze, or on, like, whatever random pair of like socks or something. Amazon. I don't know, like, that you're gonna get from Amazon. Right. So
I got 30 hangers from Amazon with velvet on the side or whatever. Ooh. And I was like, that was one of my best and worst purchases. I was like, why do I need this? I didn't need hangers. I needed hangers, but I did not need the velvet ones. Yeah. So I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, so it's just, if you want to get it done, you'll get it done. And I've seen that with you firsthand too, which is one of the reasons why I just loved it. I just keep seeing you keep progressing. Like you can literally mark, okay, cool. Gerard used to perform at these venues. Now he's actually hosting, events at these venues and even bigger venues. And now you have your podcast. I freaking love it. And all this time you were driving for Lyft or something or Uber for a while, right?
I was just going to say, I was not afraid to do the hustle too, bro. Like, cause there was a point too, where for me, especially at the beginning, driving for Lyft, and I didn't drive for Uber, but driving for Lyft. Well, I got the app. Cause like everybody, I feel like if you do Lyft or Uber, you do both, you try to do both, but I was like, F it, I need one. But for me, it was like, there was a point where ego definitely sat in and I was like, oh, I'm too good for this. And not from a place of like, I look down on anybody that does it, but I specifically was like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be this person. And I'm supposed to have this job. And you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And exact. And it got me to a place where one, I was running out of cash and I was running out of stuff, but I was like, if I want what I want so bad, I have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get there and do it with pride and do it with loving myself because I want it so much that I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, I'm going to drive for Lyft. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I did so many different things at the same time so I could keep my hustle and do it so I could do my shows and I could invest in myself. And 100%. That's why I totally get what you're saying because like, I feel like the only thing that separated myself in those moments was putting my ego aside.
Oh, 100%. If you can't put aside your ego, you're not going to make it happen. Right? Like I went from wearing suits and working, in Westwood on the 21st floor to, getting coolant. Like my hands were just soaked in coolant because I was working a machining job every night. I said, you know what, screw it. But I'm building something greater for myself. And that's exactly what you're doing. So just put that ego aside and just get to work.
Do it, guys. You guys hear it first. And so let me ask you this. What would you want to leave? What little last nugget do you want to give people listening out there, regardless if they have $500 or they have $10,000? What can anybody listening to this walk away with and be like, I'm starting my financial saving or planning journey?
I think the biggest struggle for people is they see other people with things they don't have. And they say, like, to the person with $500, just start. You'll get there. Because some people will say, I only have $500. I'm never going to make it to $100,000. I'm not even going to start. What's the bother? The sooner you start, the sooner you hit that $100,000 goal, the sooner it's easy. So I just say, just start somewhere. Just start. Even $10 a week, $10 a month even is better than nothing at all. Just start somewhere and make it happen.
Yeah. And then the one thing I definitely want to talk about is talk a little bit about from planning to living.
So from planning to living, I created this tagline myself, so hopefully you like it.
Yeah, I do.
Listen,
wow, I was like, I already love it.
I'm prefacing it. I got to preface it.
Got it.
We handle the living. I messed it up.
We'll edit it. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. You can keep it off. We handle the planning so you can get to living.
Yeah, bro. I love it. Love it. Say it one more time for us.
We handle the planning so you can get to living.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So basically the premise of my firm From Planning to Living is we focus on the millennial generation, primarily late 20s to mid 30s, late 30s. I've started to basically my niche or niche, depending how you want to say it, has geared more towards entrepreneurs or those who are entrepreneurial minded, people who have a side hustle or multiple side hustles trying to make a name for themselves. Some of my clients so they're either starting a business, they're planning to start a business, or they're a few years in. So that's really who I focus on. And it's the people who don't want to live the conventional, 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. So that's pretty much who I'm working with. I also built it too, because the traditional model to work with a financial advisor or a financial planner is, okay, give me X dollars, like $100,000 to invest. I'll charge you a percentage, like 1%, 1.5%, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And I'll manage your investments. And in addition to that, I'll provide ad hoc financial planning, right? So how many people our age, have $100,000 just chilling? Crickets.
Actually, no, two. But that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, right.
But still that.
So the whole premise is, okay, so how do I work with people our age? Because so many times, like, because so many times my friends, family, who like, cousins, whatever, they would come to me and they'd say, okay, well, can you help me? What can I do? I said, well, you only have a couple $1,000s. It'll be easier for you just to go open up an account somewhere else. Like, I couldn't really provide the advice around or value. But now my business model, I basically, since we're in the age of Netflix and Hulu, Spotify, subscription based, right? You get those those meal delivery kits, whatever it may be. Yeah. So I charge my clients a monthly subscription fee, whether or not they have money to invest. So they might be making $100,000 a year, but they don't have $100,000 to invest. So how do they get access to a financial planner, fiduciary? So basically I charge them that fee. And with that, we focus first on financial planning. And if they want to utilize my investment management services, they can. I have that built in. Instead of $100,000 minimum, it's like $1,000, depending on which investments we choose. Right. Wow. So, I mean, that's who I'm focusing on.
I love it. And do you have a website or a place they can find you besides this podcast?
Yes, sir. It is fromplanningtoliving.com.
Awesome.
And then on Insta, the IG, I just started the account. So any followers I can get, I'd be very grateful.
Daddy's thirsty.
Daddy's thirsty. Listen, Gerard, again.
Dude, I know.
We're in LA. You gotta, how
we out here. Trust me. I've talked about already too many times the amount of followers that I've gained and or lost in the last time frame.
Okay, listen, I've never cared so much about social media or Instagram until I started my own business. I'm like, okay, how am I going to brand myself? Yes, what type of post? I have Juliet, and I mentioned Juliet before. She's my girlfriend. Yeah, I love her to death.
Beautiful lady.
She's my private photographer now.
Wow, I love it.
I mean, come on, So basically, to my point, you guys, please give me a follow. It's at From Planning to Living.
At From Planning to Living. It is a funny conversation. I'm going to just go there real fast and then we will wrap it up. People really, I think there's a judgment that people you like your you care about your followers and your likes and all that stuff. And for the people out there that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You put things up for your family. For those of us in LA especially, it does matter. So that's why we talk about it. Even me as an actor, dude, even me as a comedian, when I go out for auditions, they ask us now, we have to attach our following. They ask for our Instagram and Twitter and now TikTok handles. And so they want to see all that. So the more we build it up, the more footing we have in some ways. And it's just how the world works. In 2018, I was kind of going into the caring about Instagram more phase. Yeah. And I got 3 bookings in August alone that year just because people found me through hashtags.
No way.
I swear
That's amazing.
That's when I realized that it was really that important. I was like,
it is important.
These people found me through a hashtag.
Hashtag LA. Hashtag coal to diamonds, turning coal to diamonds.
Exactly. And thank you for coming on and really talking about your coal to diamond moments as well. And really, I think providing some people out there with ways that they could hopefully change their financial coal moments into hopefully some future diamonds. And if you guys aren't listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find this on YouTube now. Actually, this probably will be on YouTube. And my Instagram, of course, is I am Gerard Cole, on Twitter and TikTok as well. And you can always go to www.turningcoalintodiamonds.com to find pretty much everything I have there. I have some stand-up, I have the podcast, a little bit about me. So definitely thank you guys for staying tuned. And as always, please and forever, keep turning coal into diamonds, y'all.
Thanks, Gerard. Love you.
Thank you. Love you, dude.